Okay, today, what I'm going to share with you, I forgot something. There's going to be a few programs here, okay? Number one, I know that some of the programs are long when I do the whole meal. I understand that. So, not everybody will see all of this. You will be able to see it, but I understand if it's too much, okay? Because here's what I'm doing today. I'm doing homemade biscuits, okay? My 2-ingredient homemade biscuits. It only takes 2 ingredients for these homemade biscuits. That's all it takes, okay? Not counting the rolling pin. Only takes 2. I'm doing a broccoli. I'm doing a steamed broccoli today. I'm doing fried potatoes. Okay, will be in here. Then I'm going to do a garlic steak, garlic butter steak bites. Okay, I'll be doing those. So there's 4 ingredients going into this supper tonight. So I'm doing broccoli, a nice steamed broccoli with a little teriyaki on it. It'd be a nice steamed broccoli with a little teriyaki. Then I'm doing the garlic butter steak bites, fried potatoes, and homemade biscuits. So if you're watching, you might get to see the whole program, but you know, I understand if it's long, okay? All right, I'm gonna start out if I can. I'm gonna go ahead and get my biscuits going. All right, here's what we're doing with biscuits. These biscuits only take 2 ingredients. That's all they take. That's all. One of the keys I found to my biscuits is, and I don't know if, I'm sure everybody out there knows this. Now on the homemade biscuits, let me grab my bowl. On the homemade biscuits, 2-ingredient homemade biscuits, I just like to use a little something to mix a little bit with, is what I do.
Where's your biscuit?
Oh, where's my biscuit cutter?
Look over there on that shelf.
This shelf? I can use a cup. I'll use a cup. That's a little small though, ain't it?
I could probably find it.
All right, just stop that. One thing I was missing was my biscuit cutter, but I got it now. One thing I use this little, it's a little Teflon mat. Works out really cool, okay? Silicone, silicone mat. It lays out nice and it's, I don't know, it's easy to clean up. Only thing you got to remember on these biscuits is it's 1-to-1, okay? If you just want to make a few biscuits, you can make a few biscuits. If you want to make more biscuits, so all I do is I'm using 2 cups of flour, okay, of self-rising flour. I'm going to punch it up a little bit so it all doesn't come out at the same time. All right. So what I use, I take 2 cups of self-rising flour. All right. Now, one of the keys I found, and I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer in this sifting. I know that people have been doing it since the 1800s, but it changed my biscuits. Janice's mom sifted, right, Jen?
Yes.
My grandma sifted. Everybody sifted. Now, I didn't sift for a long time. Okay? I just didn't. Why? I'm not sure why. Just because I'm not a non-sifter, I reckon. But these things only take 2 ingredients. And they're really good to make. And there's something a little bit fun about the sifting part. Just watching it go through. I think I know how those drug dealers feel in the Congo. Okay, now, I take the same thing. Heavy whipping cream. Regular old, ordinary, nothing fancy, heavy whipping cream, okay? Food Line might not like me saying that, nothing fancy. If I didn't have enough, I would top it off with just a little bit of milk. But I do a straight 50-50, okay? That's the way I do it. Now, the only thing I do is when I pour it in, I don't pour it all in at once, okay? And if it looks like I'm a little off, I'll throw a little something in it. But I mean, usually it 50-50 seems to work out perfect. But it's just a 2-ingredient homemade biscuit. Nothing fancy about it. but they always turn out perfect, man. Perfect. Okay? Give it a little more. I'm going to go ahead and give it all in confidence and faith. Okay? Now, because last time when I made them, I had a battle. Because what I done was, I would not have confidence in the mixture. Okay? Now that looks a little bit wet for me. All right? So what I'm going to do is give it another little shot of flour, because I'm not afraid to, and I can do what I want. It's America, right? I can do it if I want to, because I want it to be just a little bit firmer. Okay? And you know, the thing about cooking is, and my wife and I argue about this a lot, because she's a strict measuring type of person. Okay? She has even picked up the wrong ingredient before and put it in stuff, and we won't talk about that. In pancakes, they weren't what they supposed to be in. She put the wrong ingredient in it. But that's neither here nor there, because no more than I pay her to produce this program, I do not want any problems. Okay, it's about right. Okay. All right, because I want them to be good. All right, now, we'll scrape this off. All right. I'll pull that together again in just a second. Let me get a little flour out here. Now, this can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes, okay, because, and I've got several things going on today, but I don't want to make too big of a mess, and I am doing a lot better than what I used to, right, Jen?
Yes, yes.
Because I used to really make a bad mess.
Just salted.
When I salt and peppered things, it was not a pretty sight, okay? But I'm doing better.
Yes, you are.
Okay, so these are 2 ingredient homemade biscuits. That's all, man. 2. Okay. Now, sometimes I'm trying to see how, because in the past, I made them and they'd be a little bit flaky. And I know that comes from the kneading process, okay? And sometimes I get them a little bit off, and I think where I knead them too much may make them flaky. You know what I mean, Jen? I think when I fold them too much, that it might make them too flaky. Thing about these amount of biscuits, okay, like I said, I add a little bit more flour. It's to your likings, okay? It's however you like it. Oh, what I was sharing a minute ago, the thing about cooking is, I don't know, have fun with it. All right, there's people all over the world that don't get to cook anything. Okay? Now, I've got a nice cast iron skillet here. It's got a little camper on the back of it. Connie got that for me. She got it, and I like it, and I use it. Okay? Now, all I've used is 2 ingredients. Okay? All right, doggone. Let me wrap that over again. I don't like the way that's turned out.
Oh, no. You just talked about not doing it.
Because it's I don't like the way that's doing. All right? So, I'm going to work on it.
A little too wet.
It's a little wet, okay? And that's just what you have to work with, all right? It's no problem. It does not stop anything from going. It does not stop me. Because I just don't think 1.5 cups is enough when I go with the on the heavy whipping cream. A cup and a half doesn't seem like enough. 2 cups is just on the edge. But I'm trying to make these biscuits really moist too. I don't want them to be dry. So I'm thinking if I go a little bit thicker, that's about right there, okay? See how those look? What I was sharing with when you're doing this stuff, I mean, who the heck you trying to impress? You ain't like you're in one of them New York City places where you've got people sitting outside waiting on you to bring biscuits to them. And we all know most of them come out of a can anyway, probably. Okay? So, I got to get them out of the little thing. Okay? A little flour inside my thing here, my biscuit cutter. Now, on 2, I'm making this look a lot harder than it probably really is to a lot of people out there. All right? And I'm making them a little moist. Okay? Because I don't want them to be dry. Okay? Trying to make them as nice as possible. My biscuit cutter's not being overly cooperative.
Put some flour on the inside.
I can drop a little more flour on the inside of it. Okay. Now I've got one more good biscuit out of this. Okay. This biscuit here will turn out really flaky. Okay. Because I'm folding it a lot. Now, also what you run into sometimes is you'll have a little flour left over or something like that left over. Well, whoopee, the way I figured. I'm not going to try to keep it. I'm not going to try to do nothing with it. I know you're thinking you could, John, but I'm not going to because I'm 65, all right? And I don't have to if I don't want to. All right, now, I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'll show you these. I'll stick these in the oven. Show you I do these at 400. Takes about 13 minutes, 14 minutes. You still got to keep an eye on them as you go along. I'm going to try to have a little bit of butter that I can put on them when they come out, if I can. But I'll show you that in just a minute. All right, garlic butter steak bites. Okay, I really like this. What I got is we cut up a couple. I had a couple steaks that we just cut up. You can use about any cut steak since you're going to cut it up anyway. All right, I'm going to hit these just with a touch of olive oil. All right, now I really want the garlic to be intrusive, okay? I want it to be really garlicky. I'm going to try to go on the edge. Now I take these and just hit them up a lick. I hit them with a little bit of garlic powder, okay? Just a little. I don't want to kill them, but I want to go with them, all right? Now I'm going to drop these out in the skillet. I've got my skillet, I'm running on about medium high. Come here and get a shot of that. I'll show you, I'm running it on about a medium high. That's what I'm running it on, all right? Now, I would like to turn each piece over like I've seen done, but that's probably not going to happen, all right? So what I'm going to do is hit them, brown them out pretty good, okay? And then I'll go from there. I'll brown those out pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and I've hit them with a little bit of oil. I'm using a garlic. I went ahead and cheated a little bit and bought this garlic butter, it's called, okay? And there's garlic butter on them. And I'm going to hit them with that. All right? Just a garlic butter. Really, it's almost like you used to get sirloin tips a lot of places. It's nothing really fancy, but I really like it. We like garlic, okay? So we run from there. If I come back, I'll show you those in just a second. Now, okay, something different that we're doing here. I'm doing a fried potato, okay? Now, one thing with the fried potatoes I've found is once you cut them up, I try to strain them pretty good, okay? Because that water, when I drop these suckers in that skillet, oops, hold on a second. I went ahead and pre-buttered my skillet, all right? Pre-buttered my skillet with some butter. I hit a little pepper on them, a little salt on them. And what I do is I run those a little bit low. I'm gonna run them on low for a little while, then I'll bring those around. But the potatoes, what I found is, and this is something different that I do with fried potatoes I didn't used to do. I used to cook them too hard, too fast. When I cook them too hard, too fast, they don't get brown. And when they don't get brown, nobody likes it. Everybody fusses. My whole family fusses. They all say really bad things to me, and they hurt my feelings when they say those things, because it's just just because people are big don't mean they're not sensitive. Sometimes big people are more sensitive than little people. So don't forget that when you go to say something about a big person. All right, now, fried potatoes are going. I'll come back and show you fried potatoes just a little while. They'll sit there. I'll run those on low for just a little while. Now, one of the things I'm doing tonight that I've done a lot in the past that we really have liked, we got us a steamer. And I've got another steamer, a big steamer, but I can't find it has to go on the front of the skillet, so I really don't have room for it when I'm doing the other things. But we're doing a lot of steamed broccoli, okay? All right, we'll come over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is a deal that I do on the broccoli, okay? What I do, I go ahead and toss it a little bit in a little pan, okay? I hit it with some things. I hit it with a little bit of, you can hit whatever you like. I hit it with some, a little bit of garlic powder. Then what I do, I take I'm getting way too many spoons dirty. Get too many spoons dirty. I've got the young lady that washes dishes for me gets a little mad. And then after a while, she'll say something to me. Okay, I take a little teriyaki. Just about any kind of teriyaki you can grab. You can take the thin teriyaki, the thick teriyaki, all right? And I season those, and it really has seemed to help a lot, hasn't it, Janice?
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
Well, you can't really, once it steams off, you can't really tell it. I need to finish out this teriyaki. Okay? All right, so what I do is I go ahead, and I leave that sit in it. I don't put it in my steamer yet. I let it sort of marinate just for a little bit, okay? We like it because it takes 5 minutes. I might even give them 6. It's according to how hard you steam them. But this steamer, $10 or $11 off of Amazon, works good, okay? All right, let's take a look at the SteakBites. All right, you see the garlic SteakBites are in there. I'm running on a medium, so they're not hurt, okay? Those of you out there that are a little afraid, you're saying, oh, John, you're killing your garlic butter SteakBites. I'm not, okay? I really want to brown them. Now, I have a little regular garlic sitting here, but I'm not going to use it, okay? Because I've used the garlic butter, so I'm not going to use that, all right? So the garlic butter SteakBites are going pretty good, okay? So those are looking sharp. All right, now, fried potatoes, as I shared with you. One of the keys on fried potatoes is supposed to leave them alone. Now, do I always leave them alone? No, I don't, okay? But what I'll do when everything else gets close, because see, I've got time on the rest of my meal, I'll hit these suckers up on high, and then we'll see what happens to the fried potatoes. We'll go ahead and nail those on out. All right? Sound good? Okay. All right. I've got my oven set on 400. I have got a little Instapot countertop oven, and it is absolutely the workhorse of countertop stoves. I've got a big gas stove, but I don't use it that much. But this little oven, I use the fire out of it, okay? Got it running on 400. I'm gonna set that back to 15 minutes in case I fall dead. that the biscuits won't burn. Now, my grandma used to sit directly in front of the oven whenever she cooked biscuits because the biscuits would burn a lot of times. All right, so now everything's going here. I'm going to go ahead now. We talked about broccoli, steamed broccoli. Okay, I'm going to crank this up on medium. I'm going to let this go ahead and get hot. Then what I do is I'll transfer out of my bowl into my steaming bowl, drop them in there. I time those out about 6 minutes. Okay, you got to keep them exact or it just doesn't work good. All right, so here we go. Now, the garlic butter steak bites going pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do in just a minute, I'm going to open these up when I feel good about it, and I'm going to let them. I'm going to turn my fan on just a little bit. Whole house is going to smell like garlic. Okay, I'm going to let me get a little more butter in my fried potatoes. Okay, then I'll take the lid off of these the steak bites, and I'll let them dry up some. I'll let that steam off a little bit and let them dry because I want to brown them just some. I'd like to have them browned just a little bit. That works out pretty good. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now, garlic steak bites, as I shared just a moment ago. All right, I've got those. They're looking exceptionally well. Okay, they're browning, and that's really what I'm shooting for. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pull the lid off of them and let the rest of this garlic butter sort of seep. Now, as I said, I could have made my own garlic. I could have put some garlic in it and done a whole bunch of things different. But I wanted to try this garlic butter. Okay? So I take that off and let those brown. Let everything steam. And I used to not understand that, about how you let that steam off. I used to think, how am I going to get rid of all that? Okay, now, let's take a look at the fried potatoes. Fried potatoes. What? Oh, fried potatoes doing good. I'm going on a medium right now with them. I'm going to give them plenty of time and let them do good. Okay? They want to work good. Now, so that's going pretty nice. All right? Getting close on a lot of this. Biscuits in the oven. Let's take a look at the biscuits I've got in. These are 2-ingredient biscuits. Okay? They're 2 ingredients is all they are. I'm going to try to give them 13 minutes at 400. Okay, 13 minutes at 400. I think I set it for 15 minutes at 400. We'll see how they do. They usually have been doing really good, really, really good. I've been really pleased with those. Okay. All right, I'll be back in a minute. We'll go over the broccoli, go over a few more things to see where we're at. Everything's timing out just perfect. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, garlic butter steak bites, okay? You can see here, they turned out just about perfect, all right? Because you want to brown them up. They look a little burnt, but they're not burnt. Don't be afraid of those, okay? Now, Janice likes her stuff medium well.
Rare.
Medium rare, which I don't even want to talk about. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and lay these out on a paper towel. And that'll soak up some of that. I'm just really looking forward to these. With Lena, my dog's coming over here like she's really looking forward to them also. She don't even know. Can't tell about her. We have a 3-pound dog, okay, that has, oh, I know why she's going now. The smoke alarm went off a little while ago. She does not like the smoke alarm. I couldn't figure out why she was getting up. She usually don't get up unless it's like a hurricane or something going on. All right, there's garlic butter steak bites. Turned out exceptionally well, okay? I think these are good. Garlic butter steak bites. It's just like a sirloin tip done up in there. All right? Okay, now, let's take a look at the fried potatoes. I'm going to move the fried potatoes. Okay, over here. Fried potatoes are finicky little things, okay? Finicky, finicky, finicky. All right, they have to be just right. And these will be perfect when I'm done with them. Perfect. Absolutely perfect fried potatoes. And that's what you like to have. Perfect fried potatoes. Now, let's talk about steamed broccoli. I'm going to bring my broccoli up because my back eye, I have little small eyes on part of it and have bigger eyes on the other end of it. All right? Let me check on my biscuit. Good. Okay, so my smoke alarm goes off sometimes, all right? Now, I'm going to flop the lid off. It's steaming. All right? I seasoned these out in some teriyaki. All right, now, it's 7:01. I'm going to be a little more, I'm going to give them a little longer than I usually do. I usually only give them 5 minutes on the nose, but I'm not going to. I'm going to give this broccoli just a little longer because it's my smoke alarm. Because the other day when we had broccoli, I thought it was just a little bit tough. It's pretty good, okay? It's pretty good. Janice liked it, and it's pretty good. But steamed broccoli is really a great thing to have. You know, I'm trying to use frozen broccoli, and I'm going to try it again. I haven't been happy with it. The reason I like using frozen broccoli is because it's handy, and I have it in the freezer, and I can bring it out and put it in here. And so that makes it a little better. But I'm going to give it another try in the next. I don't think I've tried frozen broccoli in the steamer. I've only tried fresh broccoli, but fresh broccoli. And you know what? I talked to somebody the other day about broccoli. We tried to grow broccoli, and it's full of bugs. And he told me he had the same issue, but he only planted his, he waited till July to plant his broccoli. He said, and it would grow up till November. And he said it didn't have any bugs. So I would like to try that maybe, a little broccoli, because we really like broccoli. All right, okay? I'll be back in a minute.
You're ready.
Okay. All right.
Read my sign language.
The fried potatoes, what you have to do is they have to be a little almost burnt. All right? And people like them different. All right? They like them different. My people like them almost burnt. All right? And these are about what I would call perfect fried potatoes. You, Jen? Come on. Right? Look at them. Oh, I'm going to tell you something. I work like a mule around this house, cooking, almost cleaning, sometimes picking up after myself.
I'm used to my mama.
Oh, that's all I hear yesterday. All right, fried potatoes turned out really, really good. I think they're perfect, man. These are perfect fried potatoes. They're just perfect. I think they're perfect. The key to fried potatoes, don't get in too big a hurry. Hit them in there low, work with them a little bit. I don't overly season with a lot of salt and pepper because I try to watch at my age, salt and pepper, sodium and stuff like that. Anyway, okay, broccoli. The broccoli I put in has been in about 4 minutes. I'm going to give it a little longer. I may. Okay, my potatoes, my biscuits. Let's talk about biscuits for a minute. Homemade 2-ingredient biscuits is all this is. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Now I put just a little bit more flour because they were just a little bit, a hair bit on the moist side. Okay? Okay, now let's see where we're at. If they're not a success, it's my fault. Okay? What? Oops. Okay. Now. I can't get them cut apart.
Maybe use a little case knife.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, now. Okay. Two ingredients. Now, sometimes the flakiness is, I think, is because, now there's all kinds of ways that you can do biscuits, all right? But I'm just fascinated by 2 ingredients, all right? There they are. So, they're a little hot. It's hard to figure out if they're great or not, okay? But I think they are great, okay? I can't see how they cannot be too great. But anyway, 2 ingredient homemade biscuits, okay? Turned out pretty good. Now they could be different. You can do them different. And I'll try some one day with, I used to do them with all kinds of ingredients. What did I do, Jan? I've done all kinds of stuff on them. Put a whole bunch of different stuff in my biscuits. And used the self-rising flour, and used butter, frozen butter, 2 or 3 other things. But I found these whip out pretty good, okay? They do pretty good. If there's a fault with them, it could have been where I had them. I had to knead them just a few too many times. All right? Okay, now, broccoli. Let's talk about broccoli. Right now, what I have, steamed broccoli is a really good thing to have, okay? Steamed broccoli is done, okay? What I found with steamed broccoli is, get me a bowl to put it in. Okay, steamed broccoli is just a good food to have, man. It's a something you can have that is not bad for you, I don't think. Usually what I do is set it right. I set it right in a bowl. That lets it drain off, okay? This broccoli is great, okay? I believe it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, okay? Steamed broccoli. Takes about 5 minutes. That's all it takes. Once you get that water boiling, get you a little $14 steamer. I'm going to try some other things against my help. Don't recommend it, but I'm going to try some other things. I like to steam some beans in it. I like to steam, I know it's going to be hard, but I like to steam some carrots. Yeah, like a green bean.
Oh, a green bean.
Yeah, a green bean, not brown beans. All right, let's put this meal together. That's steamed broccoli. Steamed broccoli turned out very, very good. Looks good. Woo, hot. Turned out good. All right, that's it.